Wow.
What are you looking at?
Look at that.
Oh, well, that's high up there.
What are you guys looking at?
The ceiling.
Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always on these marvelous. Actually, let's get a T word. Terrific Tuesdays. Terrific Tuesdays by the one, the only, the meme maker himself. That is Erik. Ruby. We got Captain Redbeard behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. Got BC in the chat, got Kate in the chat. Do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Shout out to the meme maker and the Jedi and Chicken Little and Old Dog Legs for holding it down on yesterday's show. Appreciate you. We got a lot to get into today.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
Jordan Ham broadcasted live from your classroom.
Did he really?
Yeah, he went into your classroom specifically.
Wow.
I heard he left you a little surprise.
I didn't see a surprise.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
You got to look a little harder.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm in a different classroom today.
Oh.
So when I go back tomorrow to that class, then I'll definitely,
No, I'm kidding.
check it out.
He didn't do anything. I'm just messing with you.
See, this is why we can't trust this
Okay, but you know what? I'm not messing with y'all when Sharon is saying that she's just spitting, right? She's
spitting facts.
She says, diehard memberships are on super sale right now. I saw a tweet today. Come join us in the Discord. I want more of you guys in there with us. Do it. And also do it. Look at that. Instead of $80 annual pass, you can do it for $48. It is a limited time intro offer. The link is at the very beginning of our description in YouTube. Come have fun with us. Be a part of our community.
Get an immediate value.
Yeah.
Right there. $48.
That's
be
some
a
good
diehard?
savings. And
That's
then
incredible.
you can go turn around and send that in super chats to us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here
I'm just
for
kidding. We're not that greedy. Just become a diehard. Please.
It's do it. Just get in on the action. Okay.
Not for us.
For y'all.
For you.
Do it for y'all. Do it for Sharon. Glenn in the chat. What is up?
Hi, Glenn.
Y'all. Well, funny ask. What's up? That's the ceiling up there. That's what we were looking at in the cold open, and that's what we're going to be getting to on today's PHNX Sun Devils show. We have got the ceiling, the floor, and then reality, which I don't really want to talk about reality.
Ooh,
but
we live in La La Land.
We'll do reality at the tail end of today's show. But we are going to start with the ceiling for your Arizona State Sun Devils. And Erik, this is a team in Arizona State that has already surpassed expectations to this point. They're 5-2 on the season. I know you can probably be a little bit salty about that Cincinnati game.
I'm mad.
And that's valid. I think that's a valid response to that game. But at the end of the day, this is still a 5-2 team. One of the better records in the Big 12. There are a lot of teams in this conference that would kill to be 5-2. Arizona. And this is a team in the Sun Devils that has 5 games left on the schedule. You're on the road after a bye against Oklahoma State. You're at home against UCF. You're on the road versus Kansas State. You're at home against BYU. And then you're on the road to close out the season against Arizona. So I want to go each game, and we can talk about it in the eyes of if Arizona State plays to their potential, if they play to their ceiling, what can this team... I was gonna say realistically, but what's the
ceiling?
What's the ceiling for this group?
Can we get just a quick, digression? House of Heat Sports says, Totri and Erik, what are your thoughts on Kenny's post-game interview? Do you think it will affect recruiting?
No, I liked it. I liked it.
I understand why he apologized. I do think it was a little bold.
Yeah,
but
I understand.
I didn't dislike it. I think that he holds you to the right standard, right? And maybe he shouldn't go out there and kind of individualize it, but at the same time,
He didn't say the kicker's name.
no, but come on. That'd be like saying like, hey, we have a quarterback problem. Like there's only so many quarterbacks that could be pointing to.
I mean, I get that. I understand. I think I see both sides of that. Like, I understand why there are fans out there that don't want Kenny to be like that. But Kenny ripped, right? He was emotional after the game. And I think that's what you want. You want a coach that is emotional but can sometimes keep those emotions in check. But at the end of the day, was he wrong?
No,
Was the kicking bad?
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it, and I definitely don't think that it's going to affect recruiting. Ryan says, hypocrites, you dunk on Dion for throwing his players under the bus almost every show. Well, if he's doing it enough,
Almost every show is crazy.
Which is also, it's nuts. We have like not talked about the Buffaloes like at all. But if he's doing it enough for us to talk about it on every show, which we don't do, but if he's doing it enough, then that's a problem. This is the first time Kenny's ever done anything.
He's ever done
and then guess what he did?
He
Went out on
apologized.
social media and he said, by the way, this is also my fault. This is all my fault. He's like, I got out coached. So there's balance to it.
Part
all.
of it, yes.
Which is true.
Part
He
of
did
it,
get out
part of
coached.
it, you get out coached, yes. But at the end of the day, the kickers need to make your field goals. That's what you do in practice. That's what you are literally coming here to do. You get multiple opportunities. It's not like either one of those was a 55-yarder. So
It was one of 48.
At the end of the day, you got to make your kicks. You have to make your kicks.
Sorry for taking us off.
No,
there.
it's okay.
Let's
It's okay. We'll get back to
back
where
on.
we need to be. So the bye week. Okay. Kenny said on Monday, Sam Leavitt, about a 50-50, 60-40 chance that he plays against Oklahoma State. I think if Arizona State's going to hit the ceiling that we're going to talk about, we are going to act as if Sam Leavitt is back in action in Stillwater playing the Cowboys next week. Sound fair?
That's best case scenario.
Best case scenario. So Sam Leavitt back at the helm. You're taking on an Oklahoma State team that is 0-4 in conference play. Has been underwhelming offensively. Defensively, they are one of the worst groups in the conference. I believe they give up the most total yards per game in the Big 12 as it stands right now. They are horrible against the pass. They are horrible against the run. They're allowing the most rush yards to opposing running backs in the Big 12, giving up a ton of points as well. How do you feel like that game goes if we're talking about best case scenario?
Best case scenario is they get their first Big 12 road win.
Yeah.
That's best case scenario is that you go in and you finally show that you can go on the road and you can take care of business and you can do it rather convincingly. You need a good bounce back after your second loss of the season. I know it's funny to say that considering where ASU is. It's like, well, do they? Yeah, because Ralph said this yesterday. The expectations have shifted for Arizona State. And with that means that you can't just come out after a bye week and suck it up, even if you walk away with a win and have an uninspiring performance. No, best case scenario is that you go in, Cam Skattebo has 200 all-purpose yards, Sam Leavitt is healthy, he's delivering the ball, he's running the ball, he's taking hits, and this defense shuts down Ollie Gordon, shuts down Get a Job Alan Bowman, and walks away with a double-digit, maybe a significant double-digit victory, reestablishing themselves in the pecking order of the Big 12, and also winning on the road in a really tough environment for the only time besides Texas State this year.
That's fair. And you've played Oklahoma State. Now this is the third year in a row that Arizona State's played Oklahoma State. Getting your first win over the Cowboys in the last 3 seasons would be absolutely massive for this program.
Crazy how they were better when they were playing 3 quarterbacks.
I know. It's weird.
It's kind of nuts.
It's weird. And they have an established run game, all those things. But again, I think this... We talked a lot about Cincinnati being a really, really promising matchup going up against that Arizona State offense, the ground game and such. And I think if you get Sam Leavitt back in the scenario that we're talking about where Arizona State can reach its ceiling, then I think you're talking about Sam Leavitt and this offense really opening up. I think you assume that you get Xavier Guillory back. Jordan Tyson's still there. And you really set up the passing attack, making a statement with your ground game. And the Arizona State offense flourishes. So I would say that if you're hitting your ceiling, you get Sam Leavitt back, you get Xavier Guillory back. I don't think Oklahoma State has proven to be the team that people thought they were going to be at the start of the year. I think Arizona State gets that job done. I think they move to 6-2. You would get your first win over the Cowboys in 3 years. You would also be bowl eligible just 8 games into the season. That would be absolutely phenomenal. And then, Erik, you would come back home. You'd come back home and you'd be taking on a UCF team that people at the start of the year, myself included, thought they were going to be a lot better than they've proven to be the last couple of weeks. Now, this past week, I believe it was Iowa State that UCF gave a run for their money. At the end of the day, Cyclones still were able to come out on top. But then you're back home. Back at home in Tempe against R.J. Harvey and company. R.J. Harvey, one of the best backs in the Big 12, one of the best backs in the nation. How do you see that one figuring?
Best case scenario?
Best case scenario
is UCF stays one-dimensional and you go home where you've played really tough this year and you pick them apart. That's best case scenario. I mean, best case scenario here is that the defense suffocates and Cam Skattebo and Sam Leavitt run the offense. They do. Right. I mean, 38-35, a really tough one against Iowa State. Then they're playing BYU, another extremely tough game. You go from 9 in the country to 11. And then you take on Arizona, which is like, okay, your get-right game for UCF. Then you're at Arizona State. And ASU should take care of this one.
Again, I don't want to ceiling. We're talking ceiling.
I don't want to say easily. Well, yeah, if we're talking just ceiling, then they should walk away with this with a 14 to 20 point victory over
14
UCF,
to 20 point
over
victory.
UCF. If ASU's hitting their ceiling, that's the thing. We're talking about ceiling. We're talking about the top of the top.
Yeah. I think this is probably, again, in the scenario that I'm looking at, I see this being a shootout kind of game between these two teams. Not that I would like it to be.
Yeah.
But I think in this scenario, it is a shootout of a game. I think R.J. Harvey eats. I think Cam Skattebo eats. And ultimately, Arizona State probably gets it done. I think 10 to 14 points probably. Again, if we're talking the ceiling for this program, don't worry, we'll talk reality. We'll talk the floor as well. I think Arizona State gets that win, would move to 7-2 on the season, which if the Sun Devils were sitting at 7-2, they would still definitely have a shot for Big 12 title, Big 12 championship game. But you would have to take care of business the next couple games.
Right.
And after the UCF game, you hit the road against Kansas State, one of the toughest places to play in the Big 12. That would be Arizona State's likely toughest game of the season.
But we're talking ceiling.
We're talking ceiling, so we might disagree on this one.
ASU at their best can beat Kansas State in Manhattan. At their best, they can do it. Would I put money on that?
What makes you think that?
What makes me think that?
Because they haven't beaten they haven't won on the road in the Big 12
because they also haven't played their best. I've said this over and over and over again.
So you think their best?
You can't point to a win from ASU season so far. We're front to back, both sides of the ball, special teams. They've played their best football all around.
No, I agree. They haven't yet.
If Sam Leavitt plays his best football, we're talking about 200 in the air, 100-something on the ground, 70-something on the ground. We're talking his best game. If Jordan Tyson plays his best game, we're talking 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. If Cam Skattebo plays his best game, we're talking 200 yards on the ground. If your defense plays their best game, you're talking about Shamari and X and Keith all being able to lock up. Same thing with your defensive line. Same thing with your linebackers. If we're talking ceiling, that's the thing. The thing about this Arizona State team is that if you're just talking about if everything imaginable goes right, if we're in La La Land,
which we are in La La Land,
which we are, and we're saying this team hits their max potential, they absolutely can beat any team in the Big 12 on the road or at home. They can do it if they're playing at their best. Because usually if you're playing at your best, the other team's not. If you're playing Kansas State and your defense is playing at the best, at their best, Kansas State's going to have a hard time.
Yeah. I just think Kansas State's really good.
But so you think there's no world. You think there is zero reality where Arizona State beats Kansas State.
I'm not saying there's a 0% chance, but I think even if Arizona State plays their best football, I still think Kansas State's a better team. That's what I'm saying.
I think if Arizona State's playing their best football, then they're taking Kansas State very much out of the game.
So, but what does Kansas State do well?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. So you take away what they do well, which is probably the run game, right? You're taking away Giddens. Avery Johnson's going to run all over you because that's what he's done on everybody all year.
Oh, I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout.
And you're on the road.
I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but if I think one thing that ASU has proven this entire year is that in their 2 losses, they have been anything but their best. Anything but. There's not been a loss where you're like, wow, the other team was just straight up better than them and they both gave their best. No, it was the other team straight up better than them, and they played like dog poo.
They did play like dog poo, and both those games happened where?
On the road. I get it, but you're taking me to reality when we're not going to reality yet.
I'm not taking you to reality. I don't think I'm taking you to reality because I still have Arizona State losing this game.
I'm staying in La La Land.
You can stay in La La Land. That's fine. I still feel like I am also in La La Land. I am just in a different zip code as you right now.
You know what? I'm taking your mayorship away.
I'm not the mayor. I don't want to be the mayor.
What do you mean? You said that you were the mayor of La La Land.
No. I'm the dictator of La La Land.
Well, buddy, I'm dictating your dictatorship.
No, that's not how that works.
It is now.
That's not how
You're
that works.
not La La enough for this, pal.
Okay. I'm not La La enough
You're
for
La
this.
La.
Okay. You need to calm down. Okay. What do you think, Captain?
Captain thinks I'm right.
You think even the ceiling, this team can beat Kansas State on the road?
No.
Thank
you
you.
guys suck.
I believe in the team, but come on.
Go to La
Kansas State
Go to La
on the road.
Even ceiling, right? Like
Y'all
this is a really good Kansas
We're
State.
talking
And
ceiling.
keep it close.
We're talking.
I think it could be really close.
Y'all, if y'all think it's a close game, you can't definitively say that ASU cannot win that game.
We're not saying that they can't win it.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that even if Arizona State plays their best football, I still think Kansas State's a better team, is what I'm saying. Right? I think Arizona State's a better team than Oklahoma State and UCF. So while they're playing their best football, yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to go beat those two teams. One on the road, one at home. But I think you would need to do something pretty magical to go out there on the road, your first time in the Big 12, going on the road and beating
Kansas State's played two good teams this year.
And what were the scores?
They played BYU. They lost 38-9.
Mm-hmm.
And they played Colorado, and they won 31-28. Now,
what are some of the other scores?
Granted, both those were on the road, so I'll give you that. Some of the other scores: UT Martin 41-6, Tulane 34-27, Arizona 31-7. All cupcakes. Then you have Oklahoma State. You won 42-20. That's a good win. Oklahoma State, cupcake. Like, they were 20 in the nation at the time.
Where was that game?
Where were they in your Big 12 power rankings? Where was Oklahoma State?
When?
Today.
Today, Oklahoma State was what, Kyle? 11 or 12?
Okay. That's 11 or 12 means
11.
the same to me.
11.
Okay. That was at home, sure. But
Do you want to know what Kansas State is on my Big 12 power rankings?
1 or 2.
No, they're 3.
Okay. So you're telling me that if ASU plays at their best, they can't beat any of the top 3 teams in the Big 12.
I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying.
It's kind of what you're saying.
It's not. It's not what I'm saying.
It's kind of.
So you could say you have them going 8-2 on the ceiling. I have them going 7-3
on the ceiling
right now. Right now, just through the 3 games that
we've
talked.
Oh, through the games that we've talked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have them being 8-2 right now.
Yeah, their ceiling, they could not lose a game for the rest of the season. That's their ceiling. That's their ceiling.
It's 10 wins.
That's their ceiling.
10-2.
100%. That's their ceiling. We're talking about La La Land.
I just want you, like, we're going to clip this and post it. So I want you to.
You're not going to clip this.
I'm clipping this. I'm clipping this for sure. I need you to explain yourself.
I literally am explaining
You're just saying
myself.
their best is better than everybody else's best.
I'm saying if you are playing your best football, you are taking the other team away from their best. If I'm assuming that ASU's defense is playing out of their mind at their absolute best, at their pinnacle, no meat left on that bone.
Mm-hmm. I'm hungry.
Kansas State's not playing their best game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth.
Okay.
If ASU's offense is playing their best game,
you sound like you're losing your mind there.
What happens? It means because here's the thing: you can't tell me I'm in La La Land and
you are in La La Land. I'm not pulling you out of La La Land. I'm here with you.
You got me fired up.
You're just you're on a ride right now. That's all. That's all.
I certainly think that Kansas State will most likely win that game in reality. In reality, absolutely. But you guys are being too realistic.
Okay, too realistic. Well, let's move on. You have them beating Kansas State. I don't. Back at home against BYU. BYU
might be the better team.
BYU is a really good team. Really, really good team. Undefeated to this point in the season, I believe. Top 15 team in the nation. Nobody really expected them to be this good. But you're back in Tempe. In my eyes, you're coming off a loss. Back at home. It is the game, your last home game of the season. This is senior day. I've got Arizona State winning this game.
You're ridiculous. How could you even
ridiculous.
imagine?
I'm ridiculous.
No, there's no chance they beat BYU.
Here we go. Look at this
BYU is just a better team.
He just wants to do it. He just wants to do it because I disagreed with him the first time. That's fine. I'm not like...
Yeah, they can beat BYU. They can beat BYU if they play their best.
If they're 8-2, House of Heat Sports might be onto something saying that's college game day.
Oh, there's a chance. There's for sure a chance.
Skattebo senior day, it smells like 400 yards.
On college game day.
That smells like 400 yards on the ground.
Against the Cougs.
God. That could be fun.
It smells like lunch.
It smells like lunch?
If they're playing at their best,
Lunch smells like Cougars?
Maybe.
Oh, my gosh. So we both have them beating BYU.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're on the road. You're taking on the Kitties. I think you
they
kill
could
them.
Play about 50%.
I think you might see you honestly, and I'm not joking. When Arizona State travels to Tucson this year, you could see another 70-7.
Here's the thing: it depends on who's coaching, because maybe Brent Brennan's not around at that time.
I don't think it matters who's coaching for the Wildcats.
We'll see.
70-7.
I'm gonna get my fingers crossed on that one.
That would be so awesome if they drop 70 on them again.
So you think La La Land best case scenario is 9-3?
I think so.
Cool.
And you think it's a double digit 10-2 season?
I think again, if we're being psychotic.
Nobody said we're being psychotic.
What is La La Land then? What is the ceiling?
It's a fictitious land where we go and we have fun.
Do we not have a general understanding of the term ceiling?
Ceiling is the highest you could go.
Right.
Yeah, you broke the ceiling. You broke the ceiling.
ASU has earned the benefit of the doubt to say that they can at least compete in every single game, whether you're guaranteed the ceiling or not. Whether you're guaranteed the ceiling or not, ASU has earned the right to say that they will be competitive in every single game this year, including Kansas State.
Okay. I'm not saying they're not going to be competitive.
So, if you guarantee that they play at their best, they win that game. They win that game.
I love that he's standing on business right now. You're not moving at all.
Because they haven't played at their best the entire season, and they're 5-2.
Yeah.
With 2 losses to 2 good Big 12 teams on the road. Mm-hmm. One without your starting quarterback. The other one without half your defense.
10-2 for Erik Ruby. 10-2, that means they're going to the Big 12 title game.
Yeah.
What do you got having in there?
The ceiling?
Yeah, ceiling. We're talking the ceiling.
We're talking college football champions, baby.
Okay. So,
Rashada, you're going down.
Oh my gosh.
No, I can be realistic. I think
I don't think you can.
I think that really we're drawing the line about I can't be realistic, because when I imagine their ceiling, I think that they can beat Kansas State, which you're like, oh well, they can compete. We're talking about like what, a 6-point difference in their ceilings against Kansas State, possibly.
And it's still a loss.
I think at their ceiling that it's a close game and they beat Kansas State.
Okay. I don't want to fight with you on this.
I do.
It's Tuesday. I wasn't here yesterday. I don't want to fight with you.
Okay.
Just don't fight with me.
Well, then maybe we should stop talking about this and go to the worst case scenario.
We can go to the worst case scenario. That's fine by me. But before we do that, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review. Rubus is correct. We are going to go from the ceiling to the floor, but we are going to do it on the other side of this break.
You know, I'm not living in La La Land when I tell you that Brandon Bills is by far and away the best hat that I own. And I don't just own one. I don't just own 2. I don't just own 3. I own 4.
You own 4.
I have 4 Brandon Bills hats because I'm the hat guy.
When you're the hat guy,
you have a brand that you have to keep up. And maybe you have a brand that you need to keep up as well. And Brandon Bills is here to elevate your brand. The perfect headwear and apparel, snapbacks, truckers, fitted, beanies, or tees. They have you covered from performance to style. They can get your own custom brands on your headwear, and all you have to do is order at brandonbills.com. They have partnerships with fantastic schools like ASU, and then, you know, the other ones like U of A, if that's more your speed, right? They're a local company out of Mesa, Arizona, so you absolutely love to support that, just like PHNX is a local company. So head to brandonbills.com, use code PHNX for 20% off your first order.
Hoping you save money. Brandon Bills. Love it. I love saving money. That's personally like one of my top 3 things that I love the most. The other 2
La La Land.
No, Circle K. There's actually 1 and 2. Saving money just so happens to fall into the same categories, guys. And when we're talking about Circle K, when we're talking about saving money, we're talking about Inner Circle. It is their free membership program that has tons of deals to help you guys start raking in the savings. It's super easy to download. Just go to the App Store, download the Inner Circle app, enter your email and phone number to be fully enrolled. And right after that, all you need is your phone number to start getting those deals. And we're talking about deals like saving 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups and then saving 3 cents per gallon every day after that. Enjoy your member-exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members like you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
I have breaking news.
No.
Kyle Cooper has changed his profile picture on Twitter.
I did see that. I
did not see that until right now.
It's the Captain Redbeard.
It's magnificent.
It is. It is beautiful.
At K-Coop Sports. Go check it out. Show Low Man. What's up? My dad broke his ribs in Show Low once. Shout out. Off topic. Badger top 6 wide receiver and SEC play. ASU made SMH. Oh, yeah. ASU made. Shaking my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It would be nice.
We could definitely use an Elijah Badger on this team.
Infamous front runner chat. Who's y'all's QB starter Saturday? No game this Saturday. Arizona State on a bye week. So yeah, nobody's going to be starting for the Sun Devils on Saturday. Gives everybody a chance to really heal up. Sam Leavitt, obviously with the rib injury that he's been dealing with for the last week. You hope to see him back against Oklahoma State, but that kind of gets us perfectly into the floor. Let's say you're heading to Stillwater and Levitt's not ready yet. You got to roll out with Jeff Sims again. Let's say Xavier Guillory's not ready with the hamstring yet. And ultimately you go from there. How do you see that one shaking out?
The floor?
The floor.
In all land, the reverse of La La Land?
Well, wait, if the ceiling is La La Land, what is the floor?
Void.
The void.
The void.
The void?
Just the void. The darkness.
Okay, take me there. Take me to the darkness. Paint the picture.
Sam Leavitt's out.
Oof.
He no longer has any ribs. He can't play anymore.
Oh, no.
He's done. Jeff Sims turns the ball over 5 times. They don't find a replacement kicker. Ian Hershey kills a grandma because the football goes too far off to the left. This is the darkness.
Yeah.
Okay. No, the darkness is that you go on the road against a team that you're better than and you lose at another tough road environment, even if you put up a good fight. Like, worst case scenario here is you do what you did against Tech and what you did against Cincinnati, where you just don't show up prepared. You don't show up matching whatever they're ready with the energy to compete on the road. And I think you can argue in Tech and Cincinnati, well, I think both coaches outcoached Kenny Dillingham in that game. You know, both schools outplayed ASU. ASU very well could have won both of those games, right? If they didn't get in their own way again. So worst case scenario is you get in your own way on the road again and you lose to an Oklahoma State team that you should not be losing to.
Yeah, I agree with
Ollie
you.
Gordon gets 500 all-purpose yards and catches Ginty, and now there's a Heisman race.
Yeah, it is definitely, I think, a game that you lose if you're talking about the floor. I think Jeff Sims goes out there, and I don't think it's necessarily anything because Jeff Sims that like he does
Yeah,
wrong.
not against Sims.
No. But I think, again, like you said, you maybe come out flat off a bye week. You don't have your starting quarterback again. And ultimately, you can't handle the environment, which is something that Arizona State has proven to this point in some of their road games, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, that they start sluggish. You can't start sluggish in Stillwater against a Mike Gundy coach team. It's just not a good recipe. And I think if Arizona State's playing to their floor, then I think, yeah, I'm with you. I think they lose this game to the Cowboys, which would be a tough one coming off a bye week. You would have lost 2 games in 3 weeks, and you had an off week. And you would then at that point be sitting at 5-3, and people would be like, okay, you still just need one. You still just need one for your bowl game. That's all you need, right? You're slowly starting to cross your arms and rock back and forth like a crazy person. You're like, we just need one. We just need one. And then you're back at home. You're back at home against RJ Harvey and the Knights. And I think you lose that one too, if we're talking about the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think you just saw last week and you saw against Tech. This conference has really good running backs. Really good running backs aren't necessarily prone to being stopped by ASU, despite ASU having a good run defense. Corey Kiner had himself a day against Arizona State's defense. Taj Brooks had himself a day against Arizona State's run defense. The Utah running back, who I'm blanking on their name
Micah
right now.
Bernard.
Micah Bernard. He had a day against
Ishmael
Arizona.
from
Ishmael
Texas
Mahdi,
State
he had a day.
Now
Now you're giving me Devin Neal
had a good day.
He had a good day.
Jalen
He had an
Daniels
all right day.
mobile that game as
But
well.
now you're giving me RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey, who I believe is top 5 nationally in rush yards.
He's insane.
I believe RJ Harvey is the only Big 12 running back with more rushing touchdowns than Cam Skattebo. RJ Harvey could single-handedly give ASU the business. If Arizona State, again, in the scenario where we're talking about their floor, then I think that is probably what happens.
Floor, buddy. The floor? That could be real bad. That could be no more wins for the rest of the season.
No, I got them doing one.
I know you do. But the floor, their worst football. They've shown They've shown
lose.
they can't win road games.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to step on
Well, we're talking
it,
about
but
them being at home.
I know. But yeah, RJ Harvey could absolutely single-handedly beat ASU. 100%. And Kansas was a close game coming off of a bye. And if they had a single player performance like RJ Harvey does every single week, Kansas probably wins that game.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, you don't have your quarterback Sam Leavitt still. There's something still wrong with his ribs.
Wow, you're still saying
That's
he's still
worst
out.
case. I think worst case scenario, absolutely.
Okay.
I think worst case scenario, you're looking at
Getting back
Kansas
against
State,
Kansas
BYU.
State. Okay.
And worst
Interesting.
case scenario is he comes back, he gets hit again, and it.
Whoa.
Listen, you want to talk worst and
No,
best
we're
case
talking
scenarios
floor.
or no?
We're talking floor, not worst case scenario.
Okay. Yeah, floor is losses all around. Lost to Oklahoma State, lost to UCF. I mean, obviously, you're going to say lost to Kansas State.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying you lose to Kansas State and BYU.
Yeah.
I think those are probably slaughters.
So you have their one win.
I have them going on the road. Worst case scenario, their floor. Arizona State plays their worst football this season. They still beat Arizona.
Could you imagine?
Arizona sucks.
Could you imagine? Like
That'd be for bowl eligibility.
Right. 5-6 taking on U of A would suck.
5-6 after starting 5-1.
Well, there was I forget what team it was.
I think
specifically what year. But Ralph mentioned it in the teens.
It was a Todd Graham year.
Yeah, where they started 5 and it was right before. It was like 2016, right? It was like right before.
I was there. I remember that.
It was like his last year. They started 5-1 and they ended up 5-7.
Yeah, they missed the bowl game.
Yeah.
I don't think this team does that. Again, we're talking about the floor here, the smack dab floor. I think this team still gets to 6-6. Whether that be over RJ Harvey and UCF, whether it be over Ollie Gordon, I think it's the Wildcats. I think the Wildcats, Kenny can get his guys up for that game.
I'd hope.
Even if this team is playing their worst football this season, which again, I don't think they're gonna. We're just doing a dance talking about the floor here. So I would have them going 6-6. You have them going 5-7?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, shocker. Zona Tucson 93 would love for ASU to be 5-6 when they play U of A.
I mean, what's the Wildcats right now? 3-4?
Yeah. Hey, don't worry, guys.
Have you seen the rest of their schedule?
Basketball season.
Have you seen the rest of their schedule? How easy it is?
Oh, is it really that?
Yeah,
easy?
they've got West Virginia.
They had an overall easy schedule.
They have West Virginia. Then they have, I believe,
so you got West Virginia, UCF, Houston, TCU, ASU. ASU is the best team that they play, bar none.
Yeah.
TCU,
They need
Houston,
3
UCF,
wins.
West Virginia.
They need 3 wins to be bowl eligible. Do they have 3 wins on the schedule?
There are 3 wins on the schedule, but do they get them? It's
I
a
don't know.
completely different question.
I don't know. That's a Mike Luke question for
Dude,
sure.
If they don't make a bowl game with West Virginia, UCF, Houston, TCU,
If they lose to Houston on primetime, he gets fired.
8:15 p.m. Yeah, after a bye week too.
He gets fired.
Imagine they lose to West Virginia and UCF, and they go into the bye 3-6, taking
and they
on
have
Houston
to. They have to win the next 3 to go bowling.
to be bowling. Dude, there's a chance that when they play Houston, they have the same record.
Bees, the ceiling is somewhere in outer space, at the edges of the galaxy, perhaps.
It's true. Me and
Yeah.
Bees are on the same.
I mean, yeah,
plane.
you guys live in the same La La Land, which is cool.
Also, I was gonna say there's a chance that Houston has the same record as Arizona when they played. Now they play Utah and then Kansas State, so they'd have to beat one of those teams. And Utah looks pretty stinky.
Utah scored
But-
7 points last week at
Yeah.
home against TCU.
But does Houston beat? That's a different conversation.
Does Houston
Yeah.
beat Utah? Is that what you're saying?
I think worst case scenario is you don't win a game for the rest of the season. I think best case scenario is that you win every game for the rest of the season. I think worst and best are literally on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Undefeated and undefeated.
No, undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Just
undefeated
defeated.
and defeated for sure. So
No,
you have
double
them in the
uns.
best case scenario in the ceiling going 10-2.
Uh-huh.
Worst case scenario 5-7.
Yes.
I have them best case scenario going 9-3 and 6-6 in the worst case scenario.
I'm just an extreme kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you live on, you know.
I live in La La Land and I live in the void.
So what's the middle?
Well, let's find out.
Well, let's do it on the other side of this break. Look, we're obviously talking a lot about the Arizona State Sun Devils, and they still got a handful of ball games for you to go check out. So you're probably sitting there at home wondering how you're going to get tickets. Well, Game Time, they've got a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. Whether you want to go to an Arizona State Sun Devil football game or basketball is right around the corner, maybe you want to go to a Phoenix Suns game. The Suns season is right around the corner as well, right? You got games this week.
Yep. Tomorrow night, season opener. Catch me on the PHNX Sun Show.
And you're getting tickets on Game Time. Guys, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time.
Well, a lot of talk about floors this episode,
yeah.
but the floors we've been talking about are not nearly as nice as the floors that you can get over with Empire today. Not just easy, quick, and convenient in the sense that they can get somebody in your home for a free in-home estimate today. Not just convenient in the fact that they have a virtual floor visualizer, so you can make sure that you pick the right type of floors for whether you're renovating an apartment, a home, a business, whatever it is. On top of all of that, they are there to make everything perfect for you, which means they're not going to guarantee you the lowest prices, because honestly, if they guaranteed you the lowest prices, they'd be guaranteeing you the worst floor. And if there's one thing you don't want to skimp out as far as investments go, it's in your floors, because you walk on them every single day, okay? Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHNX. Some restrictions do apply, so go ahead. See EmpireToday.com/PHNX for details.
You have brought the juice all day.
I'm fired up.
What's got you so fired up?
I missed you.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have not been sleeping lately, so maybe
And that's got
it.
you fired up? Why
Well,
haven't you been
I think
sleeping?
I'm just going nuts.
Yeah, why haven't you been sleeping?
I don't know. Just been going nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's been a busy week and a half.
busy week and a half.
It's been
No,
a busy
fair.
week and a half.
It's fair.
But yeah, we're just firing today.
We are. We really are.
I don't have time to think. I just have time to give takes.
Just to rip. Guys, hit
Yeah,
that
just
like
rip
button,
it.
hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Also, do us a solid. Go check out the newsletter.
Yes.
Pat Brown been doing some phenomenal work. Go phnx.com/newsletter. That arrives every single morning. Does it not, Erik Ruby?
Not only does it arrive every single morning, it's not just an amalgamation of links to prior work that was hastily put together to make sure that they covered everything. No, it's like legitimate writing.
Yeah.
Like it's worth something. It's not AI generated, okay? It's real. Get it. It's free. Just do it.
It's literally free.
Even if you don't read it every day. Like maybe like you're just bored at work and you're like, oh, I haven't read the PHNX Daily Newsletter.
Is that
this
what you
week.
do?
Let me just go back. Oh, I'm always bored at work.
Yeah. No, it's
What
fair.
do you think I'm always looking at my computer? I'm
Yeah.
reading the newsletter.
Yeah. No, that's valid. That's valid. Look, we've danced in La La Land. We've hit the floor. It's time to get to reality. Okay?
Back to life. Back to reality.
He really is just ripping today. You need to get some sleep, man.
Dude, I really do need to get
You
some
need to
sleep.
go to sleep immediately after this. So,
Too bad I got a show to produce.
what do we think happens? What do we think happens in that Oklahoma State game? Sam Leavitt plays? I think Sam Leavitt plays.
I think Sam Leavitt plays, and I think they win.
I think you think who's
I think ASU wins.
I think ASU wins too. I think they get it done. I think Xavier Guillory plays. I think Sam Leavitt finds a way to get. I don't know why, but 27-23 is what's like ingrained in my head right now. That just feels like an Arizona State, Oklahoma
Write it
State
down.
score.
If you don't use that as your prediction next week, I'm going to
27-23. That's what I mean. I could have some dreams. That
It's
change the
telling me
things.
28-24.
But I think Cam Skattebo is going to take this one personally.
okay.
I think having the fumble last game, having a bye week to soak it in, And I think Sam Leavitt's hungry to get back out there. I think the defense finds a way to get it done. And ultimately, I think your Arizona State Sun Devils beat Oklahoma State for the first time in 3 years.
I agree. Reality is that they should be better than this team. There is a clear emphasis on who they need to guard as far as one of their receivers and one of their running backs.
Brennan Presley and Ollie Gordon.
There is a clear pecking order. You focus on them. You make Alan Bowman retire, just like you made Cam Rising retire, and you move on with your lives with a win.
Then you're back at home.
Taking on UCF.
Taking on the Knights.
Realistically, I think they should win this game.
I think they should win this game too.
There's a clear pecking order. You got one guy you got to focus on, and that's RJ Harvey.
And they got a true freshman quarterback playing quarterback.
And it's at home, where they've been very solid and pulled out close games this year.
Arizona State has not lost a game at home this season.
Huge.
Massive. Like, literally, you couldn't get anything.
And it would be their second to last home game.
Yeah, it would be.
And their last winnable, as in the fact that like they should be favored home game. I think they can beat BYU, but I wouldn't put money on it, and I don't think that they would be favored in any reality to beat BYU.
Okay. So they beat Oklahoma State.
So they'd go 2-0 after the bye.
They beat UCF. House Heat Sports in the chat saying UCF is like Cincy. It's a trap game.
Yeah, I just don't think UCF is as good as Cincy, and it's at home. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I do think that they're more well-equipped to take on
they've got the facilities for that.
Yeah, they do have the facilities for that.
Well, then you're on the road. Then you're on the road taking on Kansas State. At this rate, Arizona State is 7-2 on the season going up against Kansas State. Kansas State's a good football team. We went over that. You seem to disagree.
Don't get me fired up again.
On the road.
Blood pressure's through the roof.
Taking on the first of 2 Wildcats in 3 weeks. What happens?
Okay, hold on. House Heat Sports says, Eric, you need to be more confident in our Devils. I'm the one who is confident.
You're the home auditor.
I am the one who's been saying that they can win every game at their best. If anything, I've been the most confident.
I mean,
even in La La Land, I was the most confident. I gotta stop screaming. I don't think that they win this game because I do think that Kansas State.
He's like, I'm the most confident. I don't think they win.
Well, I just think Kansas State is a better team this year, and I don't think there's really any shame in that. Plus, you're on the road to Manhattan. I mean, look, you see what bad teams do in Manhattan. Just look at what Arizona did, right? Like they'll be competitive. It'll be a competitive game, but I would say realistically, they have a chance to win. Like I said, they should be in every game for the rest of the year, realistically. But if I had to say it, I think they lose to Kansas State. And he says, you're saying we're going to lose to BYU. I think it's closer. I think you probably still lose to BYU too. If we're just talking realistically, I think they're in the game. I think they're in every game. But
in every game.
I think they probably lose Kansas State and BYU. And honestly, like that's okay. Like that's okay.
Yeah, at that point in the season,
2 top 15 teams in the country.
You're 7-4.
And your 4 losses would be to a good Texas Tech team, a good Cincinnati team, and 2 of the top 15 teams in the country at this point right here, right now. When
you were picked to finish last in this conference.
Right. And it's like, again, I'm confident in the fact that like they're going to have a chance and they'll make it competitive, which if ASU was who everybody thought they were going to be and these teams were in this current position, I would say they have no chance.
Mm.
They wouldn't even compete. Even if we were in La La Land, they wouldn't even compete. So I would say realistically a loss for those 2 games. Are you with me or am I just so cynical?
I am with you. I think they do have a chance. I was very, very close to saying that this team would beat BYU.
Oh, it's definitely closer than Kansas State.
But I don't think they win either one of those games. I just haven't seen enough of this team on the road to believe that they can win in a hostile environment in this conference. So that's why they lose to Kansas State. And then BYU, again, this is a top 15 team. If they continue to play like this, they'll be top 10 when they play Arizona State.
Do you think that if ASU blows out Oklahoma State and UCF and loses by like 1 point to Kansas State, do you think they're ranked?
Lose 1 point to Kansas State.
Like you lose on a last minute field goal on the road to Kansas State, but you beat Oklahoma State and UCF by 20 plus points each.
Well, for that to happen, then I would say you would be ranked after the UCF game.
That's what I'm saying. But then I'm saying after Kansas State.
So you'd be what, 7-2? You have to absolutely beat the brakes off both those teams.
I think so. Yeah. I think if that happens, I'm a lot more confident in taking on BYU. If you rout Oklahoma State and UCF and you're close against Kansas State, then I think you're going into that BYU game thinking, okay, They could realistically win this game. But where we're sitting right now, I think it's okay to take a step back and say it's more likely that they lose that game. But
7-4 is fine right now.
Yeah, because
7-4 is your.
It ain't ending at 7-4.
No.
Realistically.
So you're going to Tucson and you're not even playing the game. You're just grabbing the cup and you're coming home.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. This belongs to me.
That.
Brent Brennan doesn't have the coaching prowess to take on Kenny Dillingham. He just simply doesn't. He's a mid coach. He's an average coach.
Okay, but what if he wears 2 lays? 3?
They'll cancel each other out. He
4?
he could be a lay, and it wouldn't matter.
He actually might coach better.
He's a bad football coach. Most of the coaches at Arizona are pretty bad. I think Kevin tweeted out, would this team be better if they didn't have any coaches?
Hilarious.
And they might be. I think Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham, especially if you're coming off 2 losses to ranked teams, you're going into Tucson and you're beating the brakes off the Wildcats.
Yeah. Go to 8-4 on the season. Good bowl game. Make a statement. I did see there was a projection that
Alabama
ASU takes on Boise State in the Arizona Bowl hosted by Rob Gronkowski.
I saw one that has them playing Alabama in the Las Vegas Bowl.
That would be crazy. That'd be nuts. No, so I think it'd be really sick. I forget who sent the prediction. I think Kevin sent it to me though. I forget who actually tweeted it. But if they play Boise State, not BYU, Boise State in the Arizona Bowl, A, hilarious because Gronk has to host it, but B, Ginty versus Skattebo.
I don't want to see Ginty anywhere near Arizona State.
I think that would be so much fun.
I don't want to see Ginty versus him. I don't want to see it. Keep that man away from.
For pure entertainment standpoint, I would like to see those two face off.
The running back bowl.
I think that would feed families. I think they should just run Oklahoma drills, the two of them. I think Scat wins an Oklahoma drill between the two of them.
Ginty's really good.
Just an Oklahoma drill, just run straight into each other.
Yeah, but
I think
when somebody's tackling in Oklahoma's, they're not just running at each other.
No, I know. I think Scat wins. If you give 10 shots on both sides,
I think they split 5.
I think Scat wins.
I think they split 5.
I think Scat's like built for the Oklahoma drill. He literally
and Ginty's not. Have you seen what Ashton Ginty looks like?
No, dude, I have no clue who that guy is.
Ashton Ginty, what's his size? 5'9", 215.
Cam Skattebo basically put dudes in the hospital against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think Ginty's a better running back than anybody in the country. Maybe pro or collegiate.
Okay, let's calm down.
I'm kidding. Oh my. Can I not be in La La Land?
No, you go too far to La La Land.
All right. Glenn says, say that we win out, then we go against an undefeated BYU and ASU wins. What do you think we would be ranked? If we win out and be a top 15
Say that we
BYU
win out and then we go against an undefeated BYU and ASU wins.
If basically let's say you're 9-2 going into the Arizona game, beating
going
Kansas
into
State.
the Arizona game.
Yeah.
I thought he says
no, so that's what he's saying.
Oh.
So
okay, I got you.
Okay, so never mind. Sorry. Let's say you're 8-2 going into the BYU game, and you just beat Kansas State on the road, and you blow out Oklahoma State and UCF. I think you're realistically a top 20, top 15 team in the country.
If you just beat Kansas State,
if you blow out Oklahoma State and UCF because you're undefeated, and then you beat Kansas State on the road, Kansas State at that point's probably still going to be a top 15, top 10 team in the country.
I say you're 18 or 19.
Yeah, I think you're between the 20 and
then you beat
10.
BYU, you're probably 15.
If you beat BYU, I think you're like 12.
What
is BYU right now? 11? If you're 9-2 and you just beat Kansas State on the road and beat BYU in back-to-back weeks,
yeah, you're probably 14 or 15.
Yeah, I 10 to 15 range.
I'll take 14 or 15.
No, at that point I'm going to get picky.
No, why? Because then at that point you're going to the Big 12 title game. You don't have to worry. Like the ranking means nothing.
It means a little. Something.
No, it doesn't. It just means you got to win the Big 12.
Just a little.
Whatever.
Bit.
That's going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devils Show. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. If you enjoyed the content, give the show a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow the meme maker / hall monitor at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow Captain Redbeard, who makes the ship go at all times at KCoop
Check
Sports.
out that new profile picture.
Also, check out that Die Hard membership. $48. Go check it out. Okay? Do me a favor. and do yourself a favor. It's a limited time intro offer for $48 to become a PHNX diehard. Go check it out. Like Sharon says in the chat, get in the Discord. Sun Devil fans, my goodness. Big 12 fans, Sun Devil fans, it don't matter. Come hang out. And we will be back on Hump Day, which is a Wednesday, for another PHNX Sun Devil show. But in the meantime, guys, go Devils. And peace.
We all silly like the mayor.